Good afternoon all of you, and today we will discuss about to the new topic that is very interesting topic, and it's a very important topic as for the examination purpose, and that is visual pleasing composition. This topic is basically used into the screen designing. In this topic there are the different factors are included here. That is first is balance and symmetry, regularity, predictability, sequentiality, economy, unity, proportion, simplicity, and the last one is a grouping. So basically, if we talked about to the different factors which is included in this visual pleasing combination. So what is visual pleasing composition? So visual pleasing combination, just like our eyes, is basically movement from left to right and top to bottom. So every person have a eyeball fixation studies that also indicate that during the initial scanning of a display in a clockwise direction. So people are influenced by the symmetrical balance. If we like with this, if in front of us there is a different scattered things are there, our eye is not accept that particular incident. So that is for the visual pleasing composition. That is the symmetry is very crucial factors. So peoples are influenced by the symmetrical balance and weight of the tiles, graphics, and test of the displays. Cluttered or unclear screen require that some effort to be expected in learning and understanding what is presented. And screen design is a unconscious process that attract, motivate, direct, and the distract. Meaningfulness and the evident from and significantly enhanced by a display that is pleasing to the one's eye for the human eye. All if we talked about a lack of the visual pleasing composition is disorienting, obscure the intent and the meaning, slows one down and the confuses one. Okay, so for the graphics design experts have through perceptual research derived a number of principles for what constitutes a visually pleasing appearance. So in this visually pleasing composition, different factors are there, already we have discussed. So we will talk about one by one. First is balance. Second, symmetry, regularity, predictability, sequentiality, economy, unity, proportion, simplicity, and the grouping. So first is balance. Balance means if we create a screen balance by providing an equal weight of an screen element left, right, top, and bottom. For example, if you talked about your mobile screen, there are different applications are there. The application have a fixed amount of the balance. Balance is shown in the upcoming figure is stabilization or equilibrium on midway center of the suspension. So design element and equal weight left to right, top to bottom, and the opposite of balance is instability. Opposite of balance is instability. So the design elements seemingly ready to the topple over. Balance is most often informal or asymmetrical with elements of different colors, size, and shape being positioned to strike the proper relationship. For example, dark color, unusual shape, and the larger objects are heavier, and these objects are not good for the eyes point of view. Whereas the light color is good for regular shape and small objects are the lighter. So that is these are the factors are visually pleasing in our eyes. So balance on a screen is accomplished through centering the display itself, maintaining an equal weighting of components just like top and bottom. For example, I am using these box on a particular balance. So that is, we can say that that is the balancing. Okay, so in web page design, vertical or left to right balance is usually the most important concept. Web pages are often scrollable, thereby shifting the horizontal top to bottom and top to bottom balance point as the screen is called, and horizontal balance is therefore more difficult to the maintain. Okay, for example, that is the balance here. The left and right, the same boxes are there. Okay, and but the in this next one is instability. In this instability, here is the box, but there is no box in here position. So that's why that is not good for your screen point of view. Okay. Next one is the symmetry. Symmetry is basically that is just like left to right, right to left, that is same. Okay, that is replicating elements from left and right of the screen center line. For example, that is the center line, that is the one item, and that is also the second item. So that is the symmetry of one and second. So symmetry is a axial duplication. Okay. So a unit on one side of the center line is exactly replicated on the other side. So this exact replication create formal balance, but the difference is that balance can be achieved without symmetry. Okay. Both are the different term, balance and symmetry. So balance can be achieved without the symmetry. Symmetry is opposite is asymmetry. Our eyes tend to perceive something as more compressed or compact when in the symmetric, and asymmetric arrays are perceived as a larger. For example, these are the symmetry. Okay, the boxes are there. This is the central line. The left and right, left and right, left and right. Both options are same. But in this asymmetry, there is a different options are there. Left is different and right is the different portion. So that is not good for the screen design purpose, and that is right for the screen design purpose. Next one is a regularity. Regularity is, for example, if for example human life, if the things are regular, so there is no hurdle of our life. But if there is some irregularity in our life, there is a lot of causes are there, lot of problems are there. Same like a screen design, create regularity by establishing standard and consistently spaced horizontal and the vertical alignment point. Also use similar elements, size, shapes, colors and the spacing. So regularity we will discuss in the next figure. And regularity is screen design achieved by establishing standard and consistently spaced column and the row starting point for the screen element. It also achieved by using elements similar in size, similar in shape, similar in colors and the similar in the spacing. Opposite of regularity is basically the irregularity. Okay. So exit when no such plan or principle is apparent. A critical element of the screen will stand out better, however, if it is not regularized. For example, that. So these are the boxes, are position is the regular position. Okay, all boxes into the regular position, but in the next one there is the boxes into the irregular position. One box is here, there is a small boxes, that is also small, that is large boxes are there. So that is not the regular composition of the screen designing. Okay. Next one is the predictability. So predictably, just like always we will discuss about to the SCI characteristics. The predictability is the key point of the characteristics of SCI. So predictability means create predictability by being consistent and following conventional order, consistency, okay, or the arrangement. Okay. So predictability we will discuss in the next figure. So this is the highly conventional order of the plan. Viewing one screen. For example, if we click on the folder, single click on the folder, just that is select the folder, and if we double click the folder is open. So that is, we already predict that if we double click on the particular folder, that is folder will be open. So viewing one screen enables one to predict how another will look. Okay, for the after one action, what is the performance, what is the what are the outcome of that particular action. So viewing part of the screen enable one to predict how the rest of the screen will look. Opposite of predictability is spontaneity. Spontaneity suggested no plan and thus inability to predict the structure of the remainder of the screen or the structure of the other screen. In screen design, predictability is also enhanced through design consistency. For example, that is the Windows look, Here is the icon, title bar, icon, menu bar, control, button. So that is the we already know that these are the views of the our windows. But if that this kind of windows are there, so there is we can't predict which module, which control, which button in which position. Okay, so that is the spontaneity. So that is not good for the screen design. Okay. Next is sequentiality. Sequentiality means provide sequentiality by arranging elements to the guide the eye through the screen in the obvious, logical, rhythmic and the efficient manner. So eye basically tends to be attracted to which one? A brighter element, isolated element, graphics before text, color before black and white, highly saturated color before the less saturated, dark areas before light areas, big element before a small one, and unusual shape before the usual one, and big object before the little object. So that is our eye position that is attracted. So sequentiality is a plan of presentation to guide the eyes through the screen in a logical rhythmic order with the most important information significantly placed, as well as sequentially can be achieved by alignment, spacing and grouping. So the opposite of sequentiality is randomness, means there is no sequentially, there is random values are there. So an arrangement and flow cannot be detected. So I is move, that I is example from move first to the element listed above and then from one to other. For example, it moves it from highly saturated color to the unsaturated colors, from dark to light area, big to little and from unusual to usual shapes. For example, that is the sequentiality. The all boxes are into the sequential form, but in the randomness there is a different boxes are there, different position. Okay, so this is position is not good for the screen design, but in this position is the sequentially are there, that is good for the screen design. Economy, if the screen design is not economic, that is so much information are there. So provide economy by using few styles, displays, techniques and color as possible. So next in figure we will see the what kind of frugal and judicious are there of display elements to get the message across as simply as possible. The opposite of economy is intricacy. Intricacy is use of many elements just because there are exits. The effect of intricacy is ornamentation, which often detracts from the clarity. Economy in screen design means mobilizing just enough display elements and technique to communicate the desired message and no more. Historically, the use of color in the screen has often violated this principle, with the screen sometimes taking an appearance of the Christmas tree. For example, that is the same design are there, same style are there. All four boxes have a same style, but in this intricacy there is a different options are there, different design style guidelines are there. So that is not economy part. Okay. Unity, create unity by using similar size, similar shape, similar color for related information, leaving less space between the elements of a screen, that is space left to the margin. Okay. So unity illustrated in the next figure is coherence, totality of the element, that is visually all one piece. With unity, the elements seems to belongs together. Okay, to division, so completely they are seen as one thing. The opposite of unity is fragmentation, each piece retaining its own characters. So in screen design, similar size, shape, colors promote unity, as does white space border at the display boundary. Unity should exist between related screen and website screen as well. So unity, that is the all four boxes are tied together with the unity, but in the fragmentation the different boxes are in fragmented way. Proportion, like the grouping of the elements in the proportion manner. So create windows and grouping of data or text with aesthetically pleasing proportion. Okay, down through the ages, people and culture have had preferred proportion relationship. What constitute beauty in the one culture is not necessarily considered the same by another culture, but some proportional shapes have, on the test of the time, are found in the evidence today. Marcus describe the following shape illustrated in the figure 3.8 as aesthetically pleasant. Square 1:1, the simplest of the proportion. It has the tension getting equality and the suggested stability and permanence. When rotated, is being a dynamic dynamite expressing movement and the tension. Square root of 2, 1:1.414, that is the divisor rectangle yielding two pleasing proportional shape. So dividely equivalent the two along length, two smaller shape, result are also both the square root of the two rectangles. This property only occurs with this proportion and is often used in the book design. Open book has the same outside proportion of the individual pages within it, and the square of the two has been adopted as a standard paper exercise in many countries of the world. For example, square root of 2, golden rectangle, the square root of 3, and the double square. These are the proportional of your screen. Simplicity, complexity, optimize the number of elements on a screen with limits of clarity. Minimize the alignment point, especially horizontal or the columnar. Provide standard grid of the horizontal and vertical line of the position element. Simplicity in 3.9 is directness or singleness of a form, a combination of element. The result in case of comprehending the meaning of the pattern. The opposite pole of the continuum is complexity. Okay. The scale created may also be considered as a scale of complexity, with extreme complexity at one end and the minimum complexity, just like simplicity, at the other end. While the graphics designer usually considered this concept as simplicity, we will address that its complexity since it has been addressed by the term on the screen design literature, where the objective measure if it has been derived. That is the simplicity. All boxes are the simple and the together and fixed, but in the complexity there is a different box, scattered box, and we cannot identify that which boxes are there in the proper place. So that is simplicity versus the complexity. So that is the last part of is grouping. Grouping means if we talked about to the grouping, just like to group all application or all module into the one position. For example, in your example, the Google application are enclosed together into one group. Okay, so that is called the grouping. So provide functional grouping of associate element. For example, into the PPT, there is some added grouping into the edit point. Different edit buttons are there. So that called the grouping. Provide functional grouping of associate element. Spatial grouping closely as possible of the 5 degree of the visual angle, 1.67 inch in the diameter, about 6 to 7 line of the text, 12 to 14 characters in width. Evenly space control within the grouping, allowing 1/8 to 1/4 inch between each. Visual reinforced grouping, provide adequate separation between grouping through liberal use of the white space, provide line border around groups, and provide meaningful title for each grouping. For example, that is the screen design in the previous year 1981. Tip ground, that is into the box, 14K into the box, that is box, but in for 9 KTR, 14 KTR, 629 KRG, central office is a different, valid line CKT, dial tone OK. So these are into the grouping phase. Okay. So that is very good for the screen design. If the same type of module are there, same type of buttons are there, we have to group same type of button into the one boxes, yeah, one group. Okay, so that's why that is very easy for the user, and that is very easy for the screen design also. There is no complexity of the user's point of view. Okay, so main target of the USCI human computer interface, that is the task, that is the screen design is very easy and very effectively for the user. It means the usability of the user is Good. Okay. So that is the grouping part. So use visual organization to create functional grouping. So we can using the visual organization. The most common perceptual principle used in the screen design to add visual grouping has been the proximity principle. Combine visual organization principle in logical way. Visual can be combined to enhance grouping. Avoid visual organization principle that conflict. Principle may not always be compatible. However, when the viewer encounters incompatibilities, confusion result. In the example above, proximity destroys similarity, proximity overwhelms closure, and the proximity overwhelms logical ordering. Okay. Grouping using the white space. If we using the white space, that we can group using this separation. Adequate separation between grouping through liberal use of the white space for web page. Carefully consider the trade-off between screen white space and the requirement for page scrolling. Today, the term white space is the misnomer, a carryover from the white paper of the printed form. It might more approximately simply be called the space reflecting the variety of colors. Whatever we call it, space should be considered a screen element or equal element importance to the all other. It is not wasted space. It defines the separate screen elements and give a screen proportion and the meaningful form, thus signing in providing the distinctness that is so desired. Grouping using background. Consider incorporating and constructing background for the related information. The background should not have the emphasis of the screen component, and that should be attended to. Consider about the 25% gray screening. Reserve higher contrast or emphasizing techniques for screen component to which attention should be drawn. Information can also be visually tied together through using the background that contrast with the remainder of the screen. The background should just be background. However, visual emphasis should be directed toward foreground material. A common failing for the many screen is that the background is too highly emphasized and a border is always needed to properly set off the adjacent area of the different color. Okay. So visual style in the web page design. So maintain a consistent unified visual style throughout the page of the entire website. Base of the visual style basically working on the profit of the goals of the website owner, the profile, the test, and the expectation of the website here. So that is the win-win position for the both of them, website owner as well as to the website user. The style of the website is visual characteristics including colors, typography, graphics, shape, relationship of the component, link of the one page to the another page, location, scrolling, all these into the entire website. And visual style must reflect the need of the goal of the website owner and will vary depending on the website purpose. For example, presenting fact, marketing, entertainment, and so forth. Okay. So that is the today's topic, visual pleasing combination. I hope you understand well. If you otherwise if you have any question, then feel free to contact me. My mail ID is guptapradeep@akgec.ac.in. Thank you.